Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Hope everybody's doing well. This is April with Astrolada.com, and I'm here with your weekly horoscope slash coffee talk that we do every Friday to cover the next week and the astrological events that'll affect all of us and go through the signs and see how some of it will affect each of us individually based on our sun, moon, or rising sign. So this week we're doing things a little bit differently. As you can see, this is already pre-recorded. And I told you guys last week I may have something a little different, little special guest. So without further ado, I have a special guest today. Say hi, special guest.
Hey, April. We decided to be more efficient in an Aries way to kind of combine together our weeklies this weekend. Thank you for having me on the show. I've never been before.
Oh, no problem. It's cool to collab, have a little girl talk about astrology.
Yay.
So, so this week we do have some transits that are going to bring really huge changes, some that could be very shocking. We have the new moon in Aries and it's conjunct Uranus. So lots of Uranus energy already in the air. We're getting ready for Uranus to shift into a new sign. Uranus is inching into the last degrees of Aries, those critical degrees. So it's trying to finish up some Aries business. So we're already seeing some things out there, like in the news, the media, or whatever, that are Uranian in nature, or maybe we're seeing it within ourselves or feeling it. We're going to actually be doing a webinar, Lada and I, next month, discussing Uranus's shift into a new sign, into Taurus, and how that's going to affect us all. And by sign, by aspect, lots of different details, more super detailed webinar that we're going to do. So
yeah, and it's 30% off till the 6th of May, guys, if you jump now. And plus, anyone who doesn't know how to see their transits can send us an email with the picture of their horoscope attached, and we can send you an email back and tell you, okay, Uranus will square your Venus 2025 and will be in your transiting your second house cusp 2019. So when it's going to trigger your horoscope, so you know which part of the webinar is most relevant for you. So we'll be doing some work on your horoscope as well, so which is cool.
Yeah. So up until May 1st, we are offering the webinar pre-sale at $39 versus $49. So make sure you guys jump on that. And we won't be doing a full Uranus and Taurus full on reading if you email us. But yes, like Lada said, it is like certain aspects. We'll let you know the dates so that you can follow along when we do give the details within the webinar of what those aspects and transits do mean for you, So we're excited about that. Excited to talk about Uranus, one of my favorite.
I'm a veteran with Uranus. I've just had Uranus transit all my planets.
Oh my gosh. I can't wait for you to share your stories too. Like that way we Tauruses know what to expect.
They're shocking though. I mean, like I shocked everyone. People know it already, but like some of the things I have not said to anyone because they're indeed shocking, which leads us to the new moon in Aries, which is going to be with Uranus. And as April said, Uranus is in the last few degrees of Aries. And I consider Aries like a sprinter. And when Uranus is even faster than Aries. So when Uranus is in the last 2-3 degrees of Aries, I would imagine everything will speed up so much because just like Uranus wants things fast, Aries wants things fast, Aries wants to finish first. So Uranus will be sprinting to the finish line. So things will really speed up, especially for people that have strong Aries in their horoscope. And you'll notice it around in the world how a lot of developments start happening out of the blue, surprises and accident proneness, especially when you're running for the finish line. You can trip, you can hit yourself. You have to be a bit more careful. And now the energy with this new moon in Aries is going to be so explosive and surprising. As I said, Aries likes things done fast. It's a sign of new beginnings, and Uranus is a sign of shocking new things. So it's like a double whammy here. And people can have sudden revelations. This is how I see it, because Aries rules the head and ideas that come to us. Uranus is the planet of genius and sudden download of information. People will be downloading information in whole packages. The more sensitive you are, or if you have some strong activation of your horoscope, like if you have strong Aries, but for anyone in ancient astrology, actually when I used to go to Kabbalah, this is when the sun and moon were joined, there was a new moon in Aries. The Kabbalists used to celebrate every year, would get together, and they would tell that each one has to write on a piece of paper what their plans and desires for the new year is. Because they considered this moment of the new moon in Aries the most powerful moment for the year. And Kabbalists are magicians, they take the astrology from ancient times. And this was the biggest night of the year, one of the biggest night in the Kabbalah center. And we used to write what we envision for the future, because they say this can allow you to trigger new beginnings in your life in powerful ways. This new moon in Aries is the most energetically, that sets the direction for the next 12 months. And if you give your vision for the future during that time, if you envision it, if you write it down or talk about it or do the first step in that direction, something that you really want to achieve, because Aries is new beginnings, you will be able to fulfill it much better if you do it starting from around the new moon. And being with Uranus, I would say some of you might have sudden revelations of what it is you have to do, or sudden breakthroughs, emotionally, psychologically, materially, and physically, from the past into pushing you into new pastures, because Uranus has this very sudden disconnecting you from the past, cutting the cord with the past suddenly. And Aries is all about new, let's start new beginnings. Anyway, back to you.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a really awesome description of what this energy can bring. And yeah, and it's interesting because in some other cultures and belief systems, Aries and the spring Aries season is actually the new year, the beginning of the year, beginning of the new 12-year cycle, and it goes along with the zodiac. So that's really cool. Like my husband and his family, they're from Laos, and they celebrate Lao New Year. Like it's this weekend, and it's usually every year around like the new moon in Aries. Yeah. So I find that to be interesting too, that it's going to be like right on the new moon that they do that New Year stuff. So.
Exactly, because this is the most powerful moment for new beginnings throughout the whole of the year. It's, the first day when the sun enters Aries is also powerful, but when both the moon and the sun are together in Aries, it's like everything is on fire to start new things. And Aries is new things, of course, new births. And I would advise anyone, whatever visions you have for the future, if you want some new breakthrough, some new ingenious idea, on the day of the new moon, focus on that, make a prayer on that, or just be more receptive, because the universe will send you sudden, out of the blue, surprising, almost like omens for the next 12 months. You not necessarily need to be able to read omens to feel the energy of what's about to come. But I believe that for everyone, this new moon in Aries can bring sudden, shocking, surprising, hopefully in a positive way, new beginnings in certain area of their horoscope, which we'll talk when we speak about the 12 signs.
I'm hoping those surprises are good too. But yeah, I know, and it's funny you did speak about like accident prone. Yeah, I've noticed that Uranus transits can make one accident prone. I already had to get on my son, my youngest, this morning, jumping around and running into things, and then I was running over here to start the show, and I knocked over some stuff, spilled some things. I'm like, you know what? We need
okay. Into the Uranus energy. But yeah, you feel it a few days before and 2 weeks after that. So those
Yeah.
2 weeks after that, guys, powerful new ideas, new beginnings, even though the sun moves into Taurus, doesn't matter. And to start those new beginnings, wait a day after the new moon, or a day and a half till the moon becomes visible. Then you start doing them. But you'll get those sudden downloads of information, insights about having a breakthrough or finding a new solution to an old problem of some sort. Uranus is ingenious, but at the same time, be careful, because in that area of your life that Aries activates, you can be accident prone and you can do something a bit reckless. Aries is very reckless signs. He just wants to win, or to get done, or to, it's like a bit like horse with blinkers. It has one goal and goes after it. And Uranus is, of course, rush, rush, rush. So as April said, definitely accidents, but also, try not to stress too much in that area of your life. For example, if you're a Libra, it might be in your 7th house that you go and do a bit something reckless, and by wanting a new beginning with partners, So we'll have to warn you for each sign a little bit.
Yeah, because Uranus does bring anxiety. It can bring like an anxious feeling, but the anxiety doesn't always have to be a negative thing. It's an anxiousness to, especially being in Aries, like to change things or to get things done. Like, you're just so like, okay, like you get, like you said, those insights into things. You're like, oh, wow. And they come in a flash, and then you just want to act upon them and do them.
Yeah, you get excited. And you go and then you break your legs, or you just, while you're rushing towards the goal, you step on other people's feet, you upset people, and you're like, and others are like, wait, what happened? So that's what you have to be careful with.
Yeah, that's the only downside to it. A little anxiety, restlessness, probably too. Because there's so much.
It's exciting. People will feel excited, charged up, but at the same time, Uranus is the planet of truth. So I believe, and Aries is no nonsense sign. So I believe that people will speak out their truth much more. People would confront each other and be a bit blunt. What do they call it? Foot in the mouth syndrome. And that they'll take no hostages, as they say. And they'll be very direct. And if they want to do something, especially in whatever area this new moon falls in their horoscope, they'll just approach it in a non-nonsense, direct way. Or someone who represents that house will approach them and maybe bring them the kind of the brutal truth there. So some surprises or some revealing of truth can come out there as well from that area of your life that it's activated by the new moon.
Yeah. So what else is going on this week? Mercury, the day after the new moon in Aries, Mercury goes direct in Aries. So this is even more of moving forward in the life that, in the area of life that Aries is, the Aries rules for you. So, but it's still going to be not quite, it's not like right away Mercury goes direct. Oh, okay. But because it's still in its shadow period, it's still got to get used to getting back into its regular orbit, which will still take like maybe a couple weeks. But it is a time where more clarity will begin to come through wherever Aries is in your life, mentally. And also Mercury is direct, but it's still making a square to Saturn because it's still like it's only at 4 degrees of Aries, and Saturn is at 9 degrees sitting still right now too, getting ready to retrograde. So, there's still that square between those two energies where it could be still a little bit like stop and go. Like the new moon will bring us like excitement, like I want to jump. And, Mercury too, and Aries, like, yeah, let's do it. Now let's move forward. But Saturn is still going to be like, hold on, you guys. Did you check the facts?
Exactly.
Know what you're doing.
Yes, we'll be held responsible because Saturn is kind of, even by just sign, it's making a square to the new moon as well. And it's almost like the whole April, we want to go forward, let's move. And now Mercury turned direct, like you said, and we're like even more excited. And we feel the winds of change shifting again, things starting to complicated situations that Mercury retrograde brought, starting to untangle. So we're eager to move forward with the new plans. And Saturn, though, like April said, says it might be in the form of an authority figure of some sort, of some institution, someone older, parental figure, a boss, or just our inner voice and inner critic that is, or just outer circumstances that hold your horses, don't be such a crazy Aries, energy, or Uranus as well. So you'll be held responsible, we'll be held responsible and accountable, or just a little bit more frustrated because you want to rush forward, and Saturn, some outer circumstances are kind of pulling a bit the reins in. Maybe that's for a good, actually.
Yeah, I think so.
Explosive energy and trigger happy energy.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and Saturn is slowing down. So he's really like, that's why I feel like it's a heavier Saturn energy, like sitting there looking at us like, okay, what are you guys really up to?
Absolutely. But I think we need that. It's too much excitable Aries energy, and people go a bit bonkers then. And as you said, people, when you wrote to me earlier, said, are we doing this today? Because people are getting a bit kooky already. And I laughed. Because it's true. It makes you restless. And
no, it's true. And people are letting like a little bit of their kooky side come out a little more freely. I've noticed, like, I always talk about how I watch a lot of YouTubers, and I was watching one, and she's usually like kind of serious and gets straight to the point. And then at the end of her video, she's playing with stuffed animals and making them dance. And I'm just like, what the hell? What are you doing?
Tapping into the new collective new moon in Aries.
Yeah, I was like, okay, yeah. And because the sun is like already like getting closer and closer to Uranus, as the days build up, the sun is going to be exact with Uranus on the 18th. And we're doing this on the 13th. So it's already like getting up there. So I've noticed people like kind of being a little more woo, but I'm loving it. I'm like, yes, bring the weirdness. Come on, let's.
Well, when I saw it, I said, wow, you look so original. And you're like, I'm tapping into Uranus. What does your t-shirt say? I forgot.
Oh, it says, hold on. It says, what does it say? Oh yeah, well-behaved women rarely make history.
Okay, that's very Uranus.
Yeah. New moon. Uranus's energy can make you be a little bit more rebellious, be more like, I'm true to me, I'm true to myself. If anything doesn't resonate with me, then I just throw it to the side and keep going, So yeah, and it does make us want something that's out of the ordinary and different. And like I was telling you before, like I'm so like this Uranus energy in the air is making me like bored, super bored with my clothes. So like I have to buy like a kooky weird shirt. So.
Oh yes, this is what happens. So if you don't change your wardrobe, then you change your husband or you change your career or something else. So do those things. If anyone who is listening, you need to honor Uranus. If you ever have a Uranus transit, Tauruses that are coming soon, they're gonna have. Still, even if you're not having Uranus transit, but in the next 2 weeks. Uranus is just so potent because of this new moon, especially around the 18th and before that and after that. And you have to honor this Uranus energy by changing something. And if you do it consciously, if you take the initiative and you change something, then you honor the energy of Uranus. It doesn't have to manifest in your life as a surprise from outside, as a shock, unwanted surprise of some sort, because it has to manifest. It cannot be stifled. And if you consciously channel it for something, Uranus can be, Aries is not something new. Uranus rules astrology. Maybe learn something new about astrology. Dive for a few weeks or a few days into even changing. Aries is the physical. It's quite physical, changing something physically, being more physically active to expose that energy to, I think I just invented that word. Change something in your appearance. Do something on a small scale level which you can control. Otherwise, it comes, too much from the outside. It might ruin your plans, and it can surprise you. And sometimes we don't like to be surprised.
Yeah, that's so true. And you know how on this weekly show, a lot of times I do look at like celebrity examples and, you know, their relationship breakup and all that stuff. And I was just going back and looking at some in the past, like, and all this month, there's been like extremely high profile, like breakups, divorces, and all this stuff. And like, and in a lot of them, I did see Uranus energy, like Uranus on their Venus, Uranus on their moon, Uranus on, you know, opposing. So a lot of Uranus energy can cause that. And whenever I see that, that's the first thing I think of is, especially if it's a conjunction, it's like they're bored. They want something new. They want something different. They want to change something in their life. And maybe if they're stagnant, if there's anything stagnant in their life, they're going to be looking around like what can change. And maybe they look at their relationship like, this has been boring me for a while. I need something new. Next, you know.
Yes.
In some of the cases, I think
children involved, you should not do that. I mean, it's best not to do unless there's aggression there. So you have to change something in the relationship, go and move to a new place, or I don't know, like maybe work, one works in a different state for a little bit or something, but some change has to be made if you don't want to ruin the whole status quo, or if you don't want it to shock you from outside.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's why I really like the point that you made about like consciously change some things, some other things maybe in your world. Yeah, like change your wardrobe, change your hair. Like if you have always wanted to do something, but you've held back, like say, oh, I've always wanted to take a dance class or be a dancer, but I never have because of, go do those things, like enroll in a dance class, you know, do something like that to get that Uranus energy, the urges to change it out, like direct it elsewhere if you can, so it doesn't run a tornado through your life.
Exactly. And sometimes a tornado will happen. With this new moon in Aries conjunct Uranus, some of you might just reach like, that's it. You can't anymore do it, or just something breaks on the outside to push you into a new direction, because sometimes we need a push from outside. And even if we consciously try to change something, it might be more overpowering than us. And if it happens, it was meant to happen. It's, you know, we can't control everything with clever tricks or with consciousness always. But yeah, be prepared for the unexpected in the next few days. And in the next, I would say even whole week or 10 days as well. And maybe we can tell quickly for each sign how this new moon and Mercury turning direct in Aries, because all the action is in Aries, guys, now. The next week, this is where it's all happening. Mercury turns direct, which is great. Mercury turning direct means complicated situations are starting to unfold, or if you were preparing for something, now you can start implementing it. If you've made some research or changed your plans, you can start seeing the unfolding of those. Or usually if there were some complications and the need for clarifying conversations or arguments, because often when Mercury is retrograde, people tend to bring up things that bother them, that they did not speak about before. So now when Mercury turns direct, all this is going to change, and you're going to reconcile. Maybe, you know, all this storm is going to subside, and things will come back to normal again. Because retrograde planets, they're not necessarily bodies. They just, especially Mercury, it wants to give us a different perspective. It wants us to see things from a different perspective, to renegotiate things, to replan better, to fix some mistakes. And then when it starts moving direct, we're starting to, but it's frustrating when you have to do those things. It's out of your plans. But when it starts moving direct, we start seeing the winds are changing. It's not so, you know, it kind of becomes more normalized. But first, because now it's changing direction, you'll see a big shift in certain area of your life symbolized by Aries, because of the new moon in Aries with Uranus, planet of surprises. As I said, some surprise can come, some out of the blue. You do something kooky there, something liberating as well. And the circumstances there start shifting in a powerful way. So maybe we can talk a little bit about it tonight. For Aries, everything, you know, if you're Aries, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, the direction of your life can be a powerful new beginnings for you now, because a new moon with Uranus, you can just, everything we talked about, that you can download certain information, that suddenly pieces of truth can come into your life, something that wasn't clear to you can suddenly pop with a full answer, sudden surprises, and change of a complicated situation that was holding you back, or some delays. Now they start moving forward because Mercury starts moving forward. If there was some clarifying conversations or some stresses with communications with others, they start unfolding, and you start following a kind of a different direction now. But yeah, you feel it the most. Everything we talked about is matters for you. And as I said, the first house is usually appearance as well. Or if it's your sun in Aries, it's career. So maybe incorporate something new in your career or in your goals. You can get new ideas for that. If it's your moon in Aries, something in your personal life or emotional life that you have to incorporate new. And some changes that will happen and surprises. So if it's your ascendant, your physical appearance or health, that you need to incorporate something new, and you're gonna get powerful new ideas for such things. If it's your sun there, maybe for your career and stuff like that. Okay, you're Taurus. Go for Taurus.
All right. So for Taurus is the new moon in Aries is going to be in your 12th house, conjunct Uranus. So Tauruses, I would say to definitely pay attention to your dreams and any thoughts that really come to you in your subconscious. This could be a time of spiritual awakening for a lot of Tauruses too, with it being in the 12th house, because it does rule like the unconscious, the spirit realm, the other side, what's hidden. Also, you guys, Tauruses can maybe have some information that was once hidden all of a sudden like come to light. So
it's coming to the surface suddenly, kind of in a shocking way almost.
Yeah, some secrets may go. Skeletons may fly out of the closet, Taurus. Make sure your closet is clean, okay? So for Taurus, yeah, the 12th house, you may have insights come to you through your dreams, and also maybe through like, anyone you consider like a spirit guide or ancestor or anything like that. Maybe some messages from them. And also
the imagination and the intuition. It's just, and these come from spirit guides, and but it's kind of like your imagination will be on fire almost, I would say.
Yeah, so especially if you're a Taurus that does anything creative or that requires a lot of imagination for a living, this could be a really good new moon to get like some really cool ideas and visions, like become more of a visionary of like what you want to do, how you want things to play out or look visually for whatever you have to do, so it is a good time for artsy Tauruses, especially. But otherwise, it's very spiritual new moon.
Intuitive. But people that in research, scientific or whatever, that spend time behind alone, they can have some sudden breakthroughs as well. This new moon can give them like, eureka, I solved that problem, or some kind of, because 12th house is deep understanding. So suddenly having a download of something you've been researching, or suddenly having a solution for something that was hidden from you in some sort, and something that was almost like a subconscious self-sabotaging behavior of yours, that you can have a sudden awareness of, that's why it's been happening, because of this or that. Anyway, let's move, because you have 15 minutes left only. You have to go after that.
Yeah. Okay. Gemini. So Gemini, the new moon is in your 11th house. This is actually a really good place to have this kind of a new moon because it's conjunct Uranus. It's very similar energy to 11th house matters, which are reaching masses of people, social media, networking, and ideas. Like genius ideas, original ideas are all found in the 11th house. So Geminis, you can receive some sudden insights into things like that. And also like the future, like looking into the future for things is also the 11th house and Uranus, where the new moon is conjunct. So you can just receive like some sudden like aha, like lots of light bulb stuff happening for Gemini. You can like suddenly join in, like maybe you guys have been thinking about like joining into some sort of social group or something, but you're like, oh yeah, I'm not sure. But then after the new moon, it's like, well, I found myself here with this group of people that we have these common themes or causes or, you know, interests and stuff. Like I suddenly found like some new friends, you know, so it could be that for Gemini.
Or friends can kind of shock you a little bit as well. That's another thing. But if there was some complicated situation, Mercury retrograde there with friends or social or big groups of people, and something that's been stressing you, now Mercury starts turning direct, so you can resolve those things. But 11th house is gains as well, so some of you might have brilliant new opportunities or ideas to expand their gains or for new ideas, gainful ideas that they can implement for the future now. So stay tuned for that as well.
Yeah. And one last thing for Geminis, if you are a Gemini that wants to release any type of project or something that involves the internet, website, social media, I wouldn't say like on the new moon, but maybe like, you know, once it starts becoming visible in the sky, you can see it, then you can start to manifest like something new, like a release of something, you know?
Yes, that impacts large groups of people. For sure. And you can have like very fast sudden rise because Uranus is involved in that fast impact on those large groups of people as well, because Uranus shoots you up into space. Cancer.
So Cancers, this new moon in Aries is happening in your 10th house of career. So, and also public image. So Cancer, you're another sign that if you want to gain some sudden, I guess you could say fame or just notoriety, being recognized for something big, this is a new moon to try to manifest something like that. You can have a sudden change within your career. Maybe you decide to change directions, or maybe some outside influence causes a change and you're just like, okay, I have to go with the flow now. It's just all about your career stuff. You guys can get maybe a sudden promotion, or, you know, just being honest, some of you guys may suddenly be like booted out of a job, but it's because there's something so much like greater, like a new opportunity is like waiting somewhere else. And this wasn't like something that's true to you, because Uranus is all about that true, you know, sticking to what I'm about, what's true to me, and anything besides that has to go. So,
and it's going to be liberating. It's fine. It's pushing you towards a direction that's more liberating for you.
Yes.
Or on a simple level, you can just go to the office and the boss can be wearing a cookie t-shirt, or might be acting out of sorts in some way, surprising, or might surprise you with a new project. You know, it doesn't have to be always so dramatic, but sometimes it can be on a very small level, that your father decides that he's joining a dance class, or surprises you with some behavior or something, you know, because it's all authority figures, father figures, and such people can have new beginnings in their life, such people that are around you in your life, you know, so it sometimes is not even your own life. Sometimes it's someone else that has this weird behavior, so new beginnings, exciting new beginnings in their life. And if there was some complicated situation with your career, Mercury retrograde starting to move direct, gradually you'd start to, or with your reputation, or with your social status, you start, it will start somehow improving. And plus Uranus will bring you a solution and some excitement for a new direction through your career and your reputation overall as well, or your social status in your life. So, you know, you can veer off. Sorry.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm excited for Cancers for that. So Leo, the new moon in Aries is in your 9th house. So this is the house of the higher mind. So you guys can also receive sudden insights into things that are like spiritual or very educational. Some of you guys may suddenly decide to go back to school, or that you want to learn about something in the world, or like world religions, or something. Like you just want more. You want more knowledge out of life. You want more experience out of life. So some of you guys may like just decide something around the new moon, and then with Mercury retrograde, Mercury moving forward, it can progress that idea forward. Yeah, so that's mostly what it is for Leo, the ninth house stuff, or yeah, like a trip somewhere. Like maybe you guys just get a wild hair up your butt and say, you know what, I want to go to this whole other country on the side of the world. I'm going to do it. I don't care what anybody says. I'm just going to do it. So
that's how I feel. With my new moon, I'm like, I'm just going to drop everything and go. 6 days, you know. And the furthest I've been to is the Walmart. But yeah, I can feel this excitement with my Leo moon that I just want some new horizons, and definitely want to be reckless and just jump in those new horizons with new environments. Just the ninth house is just a different environment from you. Something to shift your perspective and consciousness. But yeah, it's about having new ideas, new inspirations for the future as well. The ninth house is also future focused, and your goals and plans for the future. So yeah, and maybe some surprises can come to you from foreigners or people from a different social class or background than you, which is the ninth house. That they bring some new ideas or some surprising behaviors to you in some way. So that's how it plays out, but it's quite positive actually. The ninth house, it's an Aries and Uranus, they kind of all blend well. And it's about new horizons, new opportunities, acting on those, feeling inspired. So you can have sudden downloads, because the ninth house is the higher mind, like April said, of information and of new exciting direction and opportunities, envisioning such. And it can be a great time to study something higher knowledge like astrology, like, you know, belief systems, and some radical belief systems or some radical change in your beliefs can happen. Maybe you can read the book in the next 2 weeks, or meet some teacher, or meet someone that shifts your perspective in such a way that you start perceiving reality in a very different way, and it expands your horizons as well, and what you believe it's possible. Anyway, Virgo.
Yeah, lucky Leos. Oh my gosh, I got all excited hearing that, and I'm like, oh wait, I'm not a Leo. But yeah, for Virgo, so this new moon in Aries is happening in your 8th house. So the first thing that comes to mind with me for 8th house, I'm like, money. You guys can maybe suddenly receive some money from a different source other than your own efforts, like not from your job, but maybe if you've been waiting on some money, like your tax money, this is tax season in the US, or and maybe you didn't think you would get it back, or you thought it was going to take a long time, then maybe after the new moon it's like, hey. Or it could be if you've been waiting on money from like a settlement or divorce or something like that, like you didn't know what direction it was going to go. Maybe you could be surprised after the new moon is going to go into a certain unexpected direction. Hopefully it's a good one.
Rather than your husband saying, honey, I lost the job, surprise. No income. Yeah. Sometimes it can go this way. So.
Yeah, maybe it is your partner like actually getting a raise or something, like something changing with your joint income or your partner's income. It could be maybe a sudden, upshot of the amount that someone's salary, maybe. The 8th house is also intimacy and like really intimate experiences. So some Virgos, maybe you may have some sudden intimate experience with someone, or maybe if you felt like closed off to be able to give yourself in a really deep, intimate way, soulful way, maybe suddenly you can be awakened in that way where you're like, you know what? I know why I've been blocked, and now the block has lifted, and hey, who's out there? What's up?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the 8th house stuff for Virgos. And it could be suddenly like being able to get insights into any traumatic experiences that have happened to any Virgos before, being able to suddenly find the answer, like, really dig deep and figure out, aha, this is the root of my issues, because it rules psychology. So maybe some breakthroughs there, some really mental and psychological breakthroughs for Virgo people.
Yes. Because 8th house is big transformations on a deep level that you never the same after that, or big shifts. And Uranus is speeds that up, and so does Aries. So that can be, like some breakthrough, guys, definitely on the energetic level, on the from trauma, emotionally. Libra.
So Libra, this is new moon is in your 7th house of relationships. There's so much we could say about it. It's just all relationship stuff for Libra. Something sudden. It could be suddenly getting together with someone, and it could be somebody that you never expected. Like you're suddenly attracted to them, like a friend or somebody that you were like, they're not that cute, they're not my type, but then they impress you, and you're like, hold on a second, I see them a little differently now, So it could be a chance meeting with someone out of the blue. It could be some honestly may experience like a sudden breakup or something, but remember, this is all about shifts into new. Okay, so maybe it's something that needs to happen if it does happen. Yeah, or it could be if you're in a relationship already, Libra, and it's lost its spark. Maybe you can figure out a way to get those sparks maybe start flying again with you and your partner. So you guys have like a new beginning within your existing relationship. So
yeah, and it's a good idea, if you don't want those shifts, do something new with your partner, so you can satisfy the desire of newness that comes to you with others. Or if you don't have a partner, as April said, someone can appear actually 2 weeks for the next 2 weeks. Or it can be a business partner as well.
Yeah, or like a collaboration.
Sudden surprise and shock that comes from a business partner, some truth that find out that maybe you didn't expect. So of course it can go to the negative spectrum as well. So be prepared for that. But also it can indicate new business partners that excite you a lot, that bring new ideas, and not necessarily only business partners, just other people that come to you and that are the generator of new ideas, and they're like the engine that pushes you to change something. So it comes through others.
Yeah. Ooh, exciting for Libra. I can't wait to hear some stories, Libras. Let us know.
I'll be talking my husband to make changes.
Like, let's go skydiving. Come on, we're going to do this. I don't care. Let's do it. So Scorpio, sun, moon, or rising. The new moon is in your 6th house. So some of you guys could have a sudden change with your job. It could be a new position, especially if you've been waiting on one, you've been applying. If you have been throwing your fishing line out there, Scorpio, you haven't been getting any bites, maybe the new moon can bring like a few different ones, maybe a job opportunity can come up from like another source, another person, and it's something that you never really thought of yourself doing, but it's like, you know what, this is something exciting and new. I mean, I'll give it a shot. Excuse me. For Scorpio also, yeah, it could be like a new project, work project. Some of you may suddenly leave your job because it's just the anxiety has gotten to you to a point where you're like, I really need to change. I need to go in a different direction myself. So I'm out of here. And then with your health too, Scorpio, could be like a sudden insight into maybe a health issue that now you get some answers. You get a new doctor or several doctors, whatever, like some remedies to that you discover to help to better your health. You could change something within your daily routine, like say, you know what, I'm going to take a different route to work.
Yeah, but there'll be surprises. Like for the next couple of weeks, your Scorpio rising, isn't it? Your day is not going to go according to how you planned. With the new moon in Aries conjunct Uranus, some new things will keep popping up, some surprises that you have to adapt to. So going to the office, maybe someone will act weird or some new plan will come or something. So be prepared. Or even if you don't go to the office, just your daily environments and routines will be a bit chaotic, exciting, not 9 to 5, unpredictable, and maybe that's a good time to insert a new kind of routine if you can, because you're breaking out from the old pattern.
Yes, definitely. So Sagittarius, this is a new moon that's happening in your 5th house. So Sagittariuses, we want to hear your stories too. What dating stories you have, because this is the house of dating, of casual meetings, of romantic partners, romantic experiences, fun, excitement. This is actually a pretty decent place to have a new moon with Uranus. because Sag, just like Libra, you guys can maybe suddenly meet somebody that really brings all the sparks and the butterflies and, you know, all the excitement when it comes to dating, and you can feel like you're on a honeymoon and all in love and everything. But of course, with Uranus, as quickly as things begin, they can be so exciting, but they can like fizzle out quickly too if you don't look at things from like the big picture perspective and you're just all in the moment, you know. But fun,
maybe
yes.
that's what they need to be in the moment. So, and just go and have some abundant fun because Aries is spontaneous. It's about being active in the moment, and Uranus is just go crazy. Fifth house is have fun. So just paint the town red.
Yeah, and also, well, one thing I will warn Sagittarians, I know a lot of Sagittarians and they love their freedom. So if you are not trying to become a parent at this time, Sagittarius, this is the house of children, sudden unexpected pregnancies.
Yes.
I have been there with the new moon and Uranus moon in the 5th. So I can attest to that. It can happen. So
it happened for you?
Yes.
When you had a new moon conjunct Uranus in the 5th?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, be careful. And also, fifth house is creative ideas. So you can have some sudden creative ideas out of the blue that you're very excited about. Write them down. These are divinely inspired, or they're just like downloads for some new creative project you want to work in that you fully invented yourself, you know, as well. Or your children can be a source of surprises in a good or not so good way. They can kind of come up with, right, I'm moving out of the house. So, Mom, look, I want a breast augmentation or something. They can surprise you with some new beginnings in their life, and can be something very positive as well.
Yep. Exciting for Saggies. So Capricorn, sun, moon, or rising, the new moon is in your 4th house. So it's all about your family and where you live. So you guys can actually receive some sudden information, maybe about your family history, your family roots, some family secrets can come to light, something you never knew or realized about your family or where you come from. For example, some of you guys can maybe move or suddenly move, suddenly just feel like you need to move to another place, relocate to another country or something. Just get that buzz of like, something needs to change around my house. It could be like just around your home in general, like maybe not moving, but staying in the same home, but just like changing things around, renovating. It could be relationships with family. There could be a sudden change in like the family dynamics. You bring someone in, you move someone out. Something along those lines for Capricorn. I think Uranus is getting to my hair because I'm like, what is it doing? I keep messing with it.
And unpredictable, like Uranus is. Or maybe someone in the family can be surprising you, like April's hair, and just kind of unsettling the status quo by wanting new beginnings or doing some things that are unexpected or that are more rebellious in nature. So, and be careful with accidents around the home as well, that you don't have stuff and things like that.
Yeah, true. Definitely. I've seen that happen with this type of a transit. Or like, or sudden, like maybe not like a scary, like huge accident, but maybe like just things malfunctioning, something malfunctioning, or like, we had this before where like the garage broke, like the garage thing, like it suddenly broke and couldn't open and close anymore.
Yeah, something, you know, like disruptive to get you out of the norm.
Yeah. So stuff like that could come about for some of you guys,
and it might be a push from the universe, so you buy a new garage door, something new to put in. It can be very simple, or it can be a bit more dramatic.
Yeah.
I'm curious, what do you have to say for my ascendant?
Ooh, okay. So Aquarius, Aquarius is
car crashes, accidents. So it's the 3rd house, so we have to be careful.
Yes, I would definitely say that. You know what? And I mentioned you before. I wonder, Will Ferrell. Let's all pray for Will Ferrell, because right before we came on here, I heard that he was in a like a bad accident and we don't know like how he's doing at the moment. We don't know his condition. I don't know if he's an Aquarius anywhere, like rising or anything, but
the sun is in Cancer. I don't remember ascendant.
yeah, I don't remember the rest. I'll have to look later. But anyway, it just made me think like, yeah, for some signs, like Aquarius, this is the third house of short distance travel. So definitely you guys be careful. You don't want anything to suddenly happen to your vehicle or anything. And, you know, Mercury's still in shadow in this house too. So you guys definitely want to make sure you take care of your vehicles if you drive. But this could be also, this is another house of the mind. So this, and Aquarius is your ruling planet and it's in the house of the mind. So it's not all scary stuff. It's good stuff. You guys will be like on your genius, like extra, you know, geniusness, light bulb moments coming through.
Or foot in mouth syndrome.
Or that too.
Bullshit. You say, oh, I'm brutally honest, but you're actually being an asshole to others.
Yeah, just suddenly blurting some things out that are random. Like now I'm wondering, that lady that I watched with the playing with the animals, like, is she an Aquarius? Because she's just like making them talk. I'm like, really? I don't know. So, you know, maybe you guys could suddenly want to, third house can be media, forms of media and like writing and stuff. So maybe you might get an idea, you know, I'm suddenly going to write articles or write a book or start a blog or start like a YouTube or channel or something like that. Like starting up something to where you can communicate with others and reach them on like a really large scale.
Good.
And I know yeah, a lot of Aquarians are into that anyway. So it could be a good new moon to start a new beginning in that area.
Or learn a new skill of some sort. You know, whether it's going to be driving or maybe it's maybe it's like take some new technology and learn how to use it. Something like that as well is third house.
Yep.
And, yeah.
So last is Pisces. I know, speaking of, my Pisces kid is pointing at his watch because we gotta go. So Pisces, this new moon in Aries is happening in your second house, which is your earned income, your money. Son, I hope you're listening, because it could be something with your job, your money, the way that you make your money that could change. You may want to, maybe you guys are another sign that could get like a call back about a new job experience, new way to make money. You can come up with new ideas, because Uranus could bring ideas of how you can make money, even in addition to your regular job, like a side job, like a talent that you have. Just start, you know, doing something to where you can get some income, some revenue from that. And it could be, maybe you guys, some of you can suddenly have a change in your income through like a raise or something too. Something unexpected, excuse me, with your money. What else?
Second house is also food habits, what you eat. So some of you might be able to start a new kind of shift the way they eat. What you put in your body is the second house. And it's kind of maybe shift to a new type of diet of a sort. And second house is also your values. And things that we possess, beautiful things, might be clothes and things that we value, our possessions. So some of you might go have a spree, you know. Aries is impulsive, Uranus is impulsive.
Yeah, like impulse shopping. Oh my gosh, impulse shopping. Yeah, you guys may be tempted to do that. The new moon may bring more of that. If you can afford it, Pisces, I would say go for it. Like, you know, buying new weird shirts. Like, I'm a Pisces moon and I'm already trying to tap into that. Like,
maybe that's coming because you've been starting to look, because second house is what we value, what we consider beautiful. So you started shifting a lot, also your clothes and everything. You started buying new ones.
True. It's all got to go. The whole closet is getting thrown out with all this Uranus energy, I'm telling you.
There you go. Well, wonderful. Thank you for having me on your show.
Oh, thank you for being a guest. Thank you for us being able to collab. Hopefully we'll have more in the future. Maybe, I know I'm on a time limit today, but maybe in the future we can have a little more like, you know, more entertaining astrology talks about stuff and
celebrities
and girly things. Oh my gosh.
I would love that. I would love that. And you should get that a monthly beauty calendar.
Oh.
Yeah, we're developing something with April that she would incorporate astrology with beauty advice and do it weekly. Basically, it's a weekly one. That's a fun thing.
Yep,
For us,
yep.
for hair, for what kind of procedures are best depending on the moon. We'll see.
Yeah, and that we are planning, but Uranus likes to throw lightning bolts through plans. But we are planning for the for this stuff to begin once Uranus moves into Taurus, and when I start getting zapped as a Taurus to do some new exciting things. So.
Yes, and Taurus is beauty, so it's perfect. Uranus astrological knowledge about beauty. Let's take it up the notch.
Can't wait. All right. So yeah, I got a jet, and
thank you so much for having me, guys. Don't forget, it's till the 1st of May. You get 30% off for the webinar with April, Uranus in Taurus.
Yay. Can't wait. All right. Well, I'll see everybody next week. I'm sure you'll be here next week too. Oh, and happy birthday. I know it's tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
14th. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Don't forget to wish Lada happy birthday, guys. And yeah, we'll see you later. Have a great weekend. Have a great week.